everybody, this is Zoe from No Safer Place, and today I am back with one of my Worth the Hype videos. If you don't know about this series, I take a book that has a lot of hype surrounding it and tell you if I think it is worthy of it. Today I'm talking about a book that I have been waiting for so long. If you're very observant, you will probably notice the two books in the background and know what is coming up. I am such a huge fan of the Fletchers. I think the books that they write are just simply magical. So you can only imagine my excitement when this came through the door. Nearly knocked myself out there. The Christmasaurus and the Winter Witch. Now this is the sequel to the Christmasaurus. I also have the musical edition as well. So I was super excited when I heard that there was going to be a sequel. There is something so absolutely magical about this series, and this book just did not disappoint. Now this book doesn't come out until the 3rd of October, and there were two different versions of this proof. There was a naughty one and a nice one, and of course I got sent the nice one. So hopefully Santa will be bringing me some presents this year. So as I say, I was a huge fan of the Christmasaurus, and I just want to say, if you're watching any further into this video, there will be spoilers of the Christmasaurus. I can't explain some of the story that happens in the sequel without spoiling the first. So if you haven't read the Christmasaurus, click away now, or if you haven't read it and still want to be spoiled, keep watching. We kind of pick up where we left off. We have Bob Trundle, who is our main protagonist's dad, and Pamela, who is Brenda Payne's mum. Bob and Pamela are now living together with the children, which I thought was so cute. And it's the first day of the Christmas holidays, and of course this book is full of magic, so before they know it, they are whisked off to the North Pole with Santa, the reindeer, and of course the Christmasaurus. So they go for a tour around the North Pole, and this tour is like something from the mind of Roald Dahl. I genuinely believe that Tom Fletcher is the Roald Dahl of our age. It's just absolutely bonkers, and there's so many made up words. Everything is just full of imagination, and I just absolutely loved it. I feel like out of the whole book, that tour is the most magical for me and brought me the most delight. So whilst they're on this tour, they meet this angry little sprite called Sub-Zero. And he lets slip about a certain person that lives in the North Pole who helps Santa stop time, and that is, of course, the Winter Witch. Children are obviously super excited to see her. They want to go and meet her, but Santa forbids them. But naturally, Brenda being Brenda, she sneaks off, William follows, and all hell breaks loose. So with time travel now being possible, we are transported to the past, to the future, and to the present. I feel like this book definitely gave me Christmas Carol vibes. In fact, this book is like all of your favourite Christmas stories and has elements of all of your favourite childhood books just smushed into one book and just made into something truly magical. I feel like I'm going to say this word a lot in this review because it's the best way to sum this book up. It really is something truly magical. I feel like that's all I'm going to say about the plot. I feel like that's something that you have to explore for yourselves, and obviously I don't want to spoil anything major, so I will leave the plot at that, and hopefully when it comes out you guys will go and buy it because it's flipping brilliant. So one of my favourite things about this book is the main character, William. He is just such a lovable character, and obviously William is in a wheelchair. If you hadn't read the first one, you probably wouldn't have known that, so maybe not obviously, but he's in a wheelchair, and what I love is that it's never really spoken about, which is what I love most. It's inclusive, but it doesn't try too hard, and being disabled myself, I wish I had had books like this as a child so I could have identified with it, because when I was younger we never really had characters like this, especially in children's books, with illustrations as well. So yeah, I absolutely love William. Also, can we talk a little bit about Brenda's character arc? Her arc from the beginning of book 1 to the end of book 2 is something that astounds me. You never really see this kind of level of character development in children's books, but what Tom does with Brenda is just absolutely brilliant. I don't want to go into too much detail, again, spoiler alerts, but Brenda is just a fantastic character and she really grew on me in this book. There is a chapter called A Forest Full of Wishes, and it is probably one of the most gorgeous ideas I think I have ever heard. This might be a little bit of a spoiler. I mean, it doesn't really spoil any main part of the book, but if you don't like knowing little tidbits about books before you read them, maybe skip to a minute or so into this, because this bit I have to talk about because it is so beautiful. So when they travel to the North Pole, they encounter this forest full of wishes, and they explore the idea that wishes are alive and that they're living things that turn into stardust when they've reached their purpose. And I think that idea is just absolutely stunning. And the book is just absolutely filled with little bits of treasure like that that just make your heart glow and really get you in the Christmassy mood. While we're talking about favourite parts of the book, I wanted to read one of my favourite quotes from this book. Think of it like this. "Time is like a snowflake," Santa said as he plucked a large flake of frost from the white walls of the fridge and held it up to the light for everyone to see. It was as big as a dinner plate, even in Santa's chunky hands, which allowed everyone to see all the intricate lines stretching out like an icy spider's web. You see, it has many beautiful branches, what I like to call frosticles, spiralling out from the centre in every thinkable direction. In the same way, today won't just flow into tomorrow in one simple straight line. No, there are many possible paths for us to take into the future. The paths we choose dictate the shape of the snowflake of our lives," Santa said. When I read that, I actually cried because I just thought it was so gorgeous, and children getting to listen to that is just so magical. I feel like I need a magical word count at the bottom of the screen which tells you how many times I've said magical. Another thing about this book is the font. I am a huge fan of big font. In this book, it is so big, it is so inviting. There's all different styles of font, which I think draws you in and keeps the reader entertained, especially a child reader. The narrator, as with the Christmasaurus, speaks to you, so you feel like you're very involved. It's very interactive. That's one of the things I love the most about Tom's writing style. It's just very, very interactive and immersive. The songs that are inside are also a lot of fun to sing. Serious Willy Wonka vibes there. I just feel like reading this to a child would be absolute pure joy. I cannot wait to read this to my nephew because I can just imagine the look on his face when I'm reading him this, and it just makes me so happy. The illustrations that go alongside the book are also beautiful. I'm not going to show you any because I don't want to spoil anything, but they are beautiful. And again, will really keep a child reader motivated to continue reading the book. Also, there was little mentions of Tom's past books in there. He always does something similar to that, which I absolutely love. I like that his books feel very connected. I'll be honest, I just absolutely adored this book. I think when you have a book that's so successful as the Christmasaurus, it's always a worry when the sequel comes out that it won't live up to the expectations. But that was not the case for this book. I absolutely adored it. It had exactly the same feel as the Christmasaurus. Although this book is action-packed, I don't feel like it's as action-packed as the first one. This one feels a lot more light-hearted, which I actually really enjoy because it makes me feel even more Christmassy. I feel like only a Tom Fletcher book about Christmas could be read in August on a boiling hot summer's day and make you feel like you're in the North Pole surrounded by Santa and his elves. Like, that is something that Tom does so beautifully. So do I think this book is worthy of the hype surrounding it? Yes. Yes, I do. And I'm hoping to go and meet Tom when the book tour is announced because I need to tell him how much I love this series. If you have a child, I would highly recommend reading this to them. It truly captures the Christmas spirit, and it really is just a whole lot of fun to read. I mean, when I read this, I finished it in about an hour and a half, just under. But obviously, I was reading that in my head. If you're reading it aloud with actions and waiting to see the look on your children's face as you say certain words, certain songs, this book would last maybe like the lead up to Christmas, like start it on December the 1st and then read a chapter or so a night. And I just think that would be so beautiful to read the ending on Christmas Eve, just as you're waiting for Santa to arrive. It's just a brilliant book. Please go out and read it. Tom's books always make me this excited, and just go out and get the Christmasaurus and the Winter Witch. Even if you're like me and you're 25 and have no children and have no plan on having children, you can still enjoy this series, especially if you love Christmas. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like, comment, subscribe, all that usual stuff. Also, if you like this video, you can turn on the notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos, which is usually every Tuesday and every Saturday. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would like to see more of on my channel, and I hope to see you all again soon. Thank you. Bye. Cinnamon swirls and everything else about Christmas makes me